Do you get frustrated or nervous when your opponent is constantly hitting high balls towards you that kick up high around your shoulder height or head height? You hit the ball short or, most of the time in the net, and then your opponent is able to develop a winning pattern against you and do it again and again. In today's video, we'll be discussing two common mistakes that I see when players are trying to hit balls that are around their shoulder height or head height, and some of the drills and progressions depending on your skill level on how to address that and get better at handling high balls. So the first common mistake I see a lot of players make is they use the wrong footwork to retrieve back when they're trying to hit a high ball. A lot of the times I would see a footwork something like this where they're reaching back towards the ball. And the two things that can happen here is, one, you are at a greater risk of falling as you're going back this way. Your weight is going backwards as well. The other thing is when it's time to hit the ball, I'm too square to the ball, meaning my shoulders are facing forward, ball's coming this way, and I just end up using my arm or even going back as I'm hitting the ball, which creates less weight transfer, and I'm not able to hit my shot effectively. To practice that, we're going to be using our crossover steps and our shuffle steps. So for example, if I'm doing it on my forehand side, I'm going to pivot using my right leg back. I'm using my crossover step to go back to the position I need to go, or I'm going to pivot and use my shuffle step to get back. Same thing on the backhand side. I turn using my left leg back. If I'm going backwards, and then I use crossover step, or I'm going to use my shuffle steps. And just doing these shadow movements will help you a lot as well. You can do that if you're doing workouts at the gym. You can add that into your movements. You can do it at home. You can do it on court. And it's just a good way to develop muscle memory without having any pressure of hitting a tennis ball. So just do some shadow movements, get ready, get that weight going, transfer forward, and then same on the backhand side, get ready, and just proper shadow movements like that, backhand. And you can incorporate it, just do more or less of it. You can do longer, you can go all the way back here to practice a bit longer footwork movements, or you can do less time. The second common mistake I see a lot of the players making is they think they have to hit down on the ball because the ball is a bit higher. So I see a lot of the swings where they start up here and then they go down onto the ball, trying to bring the ball closer to the net. And I understand that visually we have that net in the way, and the court's getting smaller because of our perspective. And then so when we want to hit the high ball, we think if we hit it too high, it's going to just go long. We want to shift that perspective a little bit, and we're going to focus on past the net, another 39 feet that we have to cover. And we're going to try to hit the ball in the next drill as close to the baseline as possible. The first drill we were going to do is going to be self-feeding. So I'm going to be behind the baseline here, and I'm going to be feeding myself a high ball like that, and I'm going to try to hit it over the net. And I'm trying to hit the ball as close to the baseline as possible. Even if I hit it a bit long, that's okay. But this is just the drill to really shift our perspective and mindset to like, how much room do we actually have past the net? So a couple of technique basics on to the high forehand is, as I'm bringing my racket back, I'm gonna turn my upper body so I can coil and then uncoil when I hit it, so I can transfer all that weight forward. My backswing is high. On the topspin forehand, when the ball is around the waist height, we keep the backswing a bit low so I can come up and hit the topspin. But on the high ones, we want to try to keep it up here. And as I'm traveling through, I'm going to have a bit more linear path on the racket and still finishing around my shoulder height. So just going to do a couple demonstrations here. So I'm going to toss the ball high, get shoulder turn, and I'm going to hit the ball forward. And you'll see my racket is still finishing here. I'm not hitting down onto the ball. So get ready. And try to hit as close to the baseline as possible. I was not high enough, so I'll do one more. There we go. Well, that was pretty close to the baseline. So on the backhand side, most of the fundamentals remain the same. We still want a good shoulder turn, and my racket path is still a bit more forward and up and not down. The only difference in the racket path on the backhand side is if you'll see is from here, as I'm making contact on a high ball, my racket will go across a bit more on the backhand to keep those strings and the racket face facing forward. So it will look something like this. We go a high ball, racket is up high, and I go to the side a bit more. It's tougher to keep going forward like we do on the forehand. On the backhand, it's one-hander or two-handed backhand. So another backhand high, and then I can go across the ball a bit more, and I can still get good pace on the ball when I'm hitting it. Another thing we can do is we can add a bit more spin to the ball, like that, on a high ball. But in order to hit something that is a bit more offensive, I can go, oh, that was a bad example. Go across the ball a bit more, and the ball travels with a bit more side spin and is a bit flatter shot. And you can get a bit more power on it that way too. Once you get comfortable with the body positioning and the swing path, the next progression will be to add a bit of movement as we try to execute our high forehands and backhands. But we want to still give ourselves a clear goal when we're doing the drill of hitting the ball deep. So in our first drill, you'll see here taking a few steps back, and then I'm trying to execute my high forehand technique that we just discussed. I can do that on my forehand side and also my backhand side. And you can see that I am turning my shoulders every time, using the correct footwork to go back, and then having my weight transfer forward as I finish my shot. You can increase the intensity and difficulty of the drill depending on your skill level or your student's skill level by including more dynamic footwork, as you can see here, and or increasing the difficulty of the feed. After practicing these drills, you can try it out in a rally situation. Very important to keep a clear goal in our head when we're practicing in a rally situation. We want to hit the ball deep. We don't have any other goals of hitting the ball hard or how much topspin do I want on the ball. My only goal is to hit the ball deep. And because in a rally situation, we have so many things going in our head. If we have a clear goal that every time I get a high ball, my goal is to get the ball deep, then I'm able to simplify our thought process. So, okay, every time I get a high ball, I'm gonna hit it deep, and that will help you execute your shots a bit more efficiently. If you want to watch another video on how to have a more focused practice and improve the topspin on your forehand, we'll link that video at the end of this video. If you want to watch more videos like that on fitness, mindset, and technique, head on to oncourtwithsunny.com, where you can become a member and join our On Court community. And we will see you all in the next one. Thanks. Bye.